Hello, hello, hello. We are connected now.
Hello. Hello. I am Keith.
And I am Del. Okay.
And we are Renjeaux. And we listen to cool albums.
Yes, we do.
And today we got a a very fun album. Del, what's the fun album we're listening to today?
We are listening to Computer World by Kraftwerk.
Kraftwerk.
A 1981 release.
Yeah, okay. But I think maybe my favorite Kraftwerk album.
Okay. Sorry, I was in shock.
I don't do a very good German accent.
So can you pronounce these
names?
names?
Yeah, these are the dudes.
Yeah.
Ralf Hutter, Karl Bartos, Wolfgang Flür, and Florian Schneider.
And Ralph and Florian are the founders of this band. But the other two guys are considered the part of the classic group of Kraftwerk. But
well, they look like mannequins. Don't they look like mannequins?
Yeah, they look like mannequins. Of course they look like mannequins.
That's kind of their thing, is they have a robot thing.
Right. For this album,
right?
And the album before, they were definitely going with the robot end. But they actually, look, they are human beings. There's this 1975 photo back when they were humans, and then they changed into robots.
And androids.
Right.
Okay. And they are from Dusseldorf.
Look, and they're smiling
right?
here. There's Florian on the left. Look at his goofy smile.
Yeah, and the dude on the next to him is wearing blue jeans. I think that's the first time I've ever seen a Kraftwerk guy in blue jeans. So.
But we are doing Computer World, which was their eighth studio album. And probably their last one for a while. They took about 4 years off after this and everything. But this was kind of like, I think they kind of peaked here.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a really cool album. So much fun. Man, their grooves are just so tight. I keep telling you that they must be using sequencers, but you're like, I don't think so. I think they're playing.
I think they did use sequencers for a lot of this, but they did play a lot too. In fact, they aren't, as you listen to this, and you hear so much looped music today, there's some of this looped and a lot of it's not. Or if it is, it subtly changes over time, which I really like. So,
Yep.
Shall we?
Let's listen to the first song, man. Let's get into it.
Computer World.
130 BPM, man. Such a cool sound.
I'm cranking it.
Bass line,
yeah. They had room for everything. There's nothing crammed into this. It's like perfectly crafted.
Right. Well, maybe that's why they called themselves Kraftwerk. But it's so true. All the little pieces fit together. It's pretty minimal.
Yeah.
Compared to electronic music today, there would be like 150 tracks. Percussion.
Pads and layers.
Effects.
In Scotland Yard, in Topol, and Deutschland, FBI, and Scotland Yard.
And Scotland Yard. Business, numbers, money, people. So this is what computers were used for back in 1981. I mean,
none of them had computers for this.
They didn't use computers on the album?
They didn't have computers.
1981.
They didn't. I'm not saying it's the year, but they literally did not have computers. None of them had computers when they did this. This is all synthesizers and sequencers.
I mean, the IBM PC came out in maybe 78 or something.
Yeah.
But they were like $5,000.
Right.
You know?
Scotland Yard.
Of course, that was before MIDI. I guess MIDI came out around 1981 or so. Something like that.
Yeah, I guess so.
because I got an Apple II Plus in about 82 or 83, and MIDI had been around for a year maybe. So
Yeah. I didn't get my
something like
hybrid
that.
arms until about 85. So, yeah. Remember hybrid arms?
I remember the name. What was that?
It was a
it a
computer,
computer? It was. You didn't get an Atari 520 ST?
Oh, that's what it was. You're right. I did get that. And hybrid arms was the
Yes.
software. That's what it was.
Right. The sequencer, yes. So we use sequencers. I mean, we're not sure if they use sequencers on this or
No,
not.
they did
But
use
to
sequencers.
me,
They did use sequencers, but it
Okay.
went on a computer.
right, it was some sort of hardware
Right.
music device, an Oberheim maybe, or, Roland, or who knows. There is some, let's see, a orchestron
Yeah.
and a Synthenorma sequencer. Ah, there it is, the Synthenorma
Yeah,
sequencer.
that's what it is.
I've never heard of that kind of sequencer, but
You're not
I was
from
not.
Germany.
When in 1981 I was 17 years old. Didn't know my head from my toe.
So this song,
In
I always considered my favorite of this album. But
FBI
really, now, I consider it just one of my favorites.
and Deutsch.
I have rated every single song in this album 4 stars. Every single song, man. I'm just like, I'm trying to make distinctions between them. And I'm like, well, this one's jamming too, man. I mean, it's a different electronic sound from what electronic music is these days.
yeah. But it's,
So much just clean. It's clean.
is it actually, to me, I was thinking about this morning, isn't this kind of more timeless than a lot of stuff we listen to from this era? To me, it is.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, so these guys, it seems like they release remix albums fairly regularly, and some of this music is some of the coolest music on those remix albums.
Right.
I think we are maybe gonna look at a live video clip of them
Yeah.
where they do part of this song maybe, and
It's a little, it seems like it's a little bit of a collage.
right.
Right.
So just really clean. I mean, minimal. The melody, the simple melodies,
Right.
little simple pads, the bass, but the bass parts and the percussion are just super tight together and bouncy.
The
And
bass, for a while you think it's looped, and after a while you realize it's really changing. I mean, it changes for sections. It changes. It gets
right,
a little more complicated.
Subtly
during
different,
things.
yeah.
Right. Right. So it's
which is some of their craft.
yeah. So that's why it's never. That's why this is, to me, is never boring, because after a while you're going, it's got kind of a pickup to it, but it's not like it's
different
just
now.
it's just not like it's just bam, there it is.
Yeah, here's the verse and here's the chorus,
Right.
and it's like they're totally 2 different sections.
Right.
It's kind of okay. We're gonna just add a couple of little ba-da-da here in the
Right.
verse, or or in the chorus we'll add a couple of notes or something. Exactly.
Shall I?
So, yeah, let's keep going. I love this one too, man. There's one part in particular that I like on this song. It just like totally takes it over the top for me. It's just like,
I have that in just about every song on this album. It's like there's just a section that hits like going, oh, that's just
yeah, like exactly. So this is a cool, very catchy little melodies.
I'm the operator with my
Yeah, I think
pocket
that's Ralph.
calculator.
There it is. Okay, here's the part that I love right here.
I'm the operator with my pocket calculator.
That's the part, that one note. That's the thing that does it for me on this song. Isn't that weird? It's just that one.
it sticks in your head. You're going off doing something else, and there's this thing going on in your head.
And I'm like,
I am adding.
that must be the enter or the
Subtracting.
equals key on the pocket calculator, you know?
I'm controlling. And
See, I
composing.
used to think this was Florian, but I think this is Ralph. The more
I'm
I
the
hear, he thinks-
operator with my pocket
and when I
calculator.
the live video we're playing, it's Ralph that's doing all the main vocals.
Okay.
I'm the operator with my pocket calculator.
I used to think this was so perfectly nerdy for me in high school. After high school,
Totally, man.
but
They were the
Didn't hear
ultimate
anything like
nerds,
this.
man.
oh,
Well, I mean, they were like the, you know, the nerds, the patron saints of nerds, man.
I'm controlling
I'm controlling
and composing.
and composing.
By pressing down a special key, it plays a little melody.
Melody. Yeah.
By pressing down a special key, it plays a little
The
melody.
little melody. I had the little. That sounds to me, it reminds me of the little Mattel electronic football game. It's a little handheld football game. And I used to play the hell out of that game, and it had little sounds like that, you know? When he made a touchdown, or at the end of the play, it would do the whistle, the umpire's whistle, and I go.
sorry, I can't help myself. I just moved. You just
No,
moved.
I know, exactly.
Especially when you haven't heard this for a while. It kicks in, and you're like, dude.
Oh, totally. I know.
Freaking
That's the
awesome.
timeless part,
Yeah.
right? I know. This is like you could hear this today and be like, there it is, my part.
Oh yeah.
Right?
You know when they do rest with their basses, and that's
Yep. Yep.
supposedly Florian was really the stickler on the sound. I was reading one little
Oh, yeah?
interview. It was like Florian was all about. They'd spend forever on just tweaking the sounds.
Yeah. But not just. We need a little more filter on this one, and a
Right.
little more resonance on that one,
Right.
a little more tack on this one. Every part just fits together really nicely,
Yeah.
you know? Somebody's jamming on the little, just comping on the.
I'm the operator with my pocket calculator. I'm the operator with my pocket calculator.
And you didn't have to be able to dance all fancy to this shit, you know?
No.
You just kind of shake your whatever you can shake.
It's not that you could keep. It's like you could try not to dance, or you could try not to move.
I know.
That's a lot of work.
I think I haven't stopped moving since we, you know, even when we're talking, I'm like, okay. So here we're jamming at the end here.
I think this
Everybody's.
this may be the only track that actually fades out. I noticed that the rest
Oh,
of them
maybe
all
so.
just end. I
Right.
think.
Maybe so. Cool. Well, yeah, that's a fun one. And then the next one, you know, doesn't necessarily start off my. So this one is just percussion, numbers. Track 3. This one really just percussion and rhythm. And this one you gotta move to.
This is funky. This kind of goes back
I
to the
think I'm-
OMD music concrete type angle.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, exactly.
But
There's no melodies in this one. I think I'm gonna stand up on
But
this
when
one.
it kicks in-
Here, join me. Here. There we go. Big beat. That's not a melody right there, is it?
it could be.
That could. It's the theme. It's the theme. I don't know if it's a melody, but it's good.
Sounds awesome.
It does. This is a big snare, man. Just a white
Oh
noise.
yeah. So.
Yep.
So
Sorry,
I used
I'm
to
listening.
I used to be a trainer in high school
Yeah. Yeah.
for the
The
football and track
team.
team in the track.
Yep.
And I was at a track meet doing something. I don't know what it was. And I think this was the track I heard.
Got a track meet
Coming
in
down the
Texas,
track
South
meet.
Texas.
And I turned my head, and there were some brothers with a jam box on their shoulder, and this was going. And I was like, what the
Some
hell?
GP track guys.
First off, it's like, is that Kraftwerk? And then going, are those brothers playing Kraftwerk?
It wasn't the Mute brothers, was it?
No, I think it was a visiting school. No, it wasn't GP. It wasn't our school.
Oh, I see. Some other. Okay. They must have been from San Antonio or Houston or something.
No, I think it was either one.
Mathis.
No, it was Corpus. It was Corpus.
Oh, Corpus. Okay.
I could tell you what school it was.
What school was it?
I think it was West Oso.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, West Coast was where all the black kids went.
He's Keith.
Well, I mean, beat like this. Beat like this, man.
Yeah. So Numbers was actually used, and I don't know if it was this mix. The guy who went by the name of Africa Bambato.
Oh, Bambata. Yeah, for one of the first hip hop dudes.
He actually saw them on Trans Europe Express during the tour because they came to U.S. during that. And he saw them in New York. And he was just freaking out. And so he
Loving it.
was part of this song, I think, with the Japanese girl in this rhythm going. And I don't know if I heard this song or if I heard his mix at the track meet. But I do love.
Oh, yeah.
They go right
okay.
back into computer world.
Right here. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was great.
130 BPM. Yep.
The DJs love this stuff, man.
Yep.
It was actually used by Kraftwerk was used by I think a group called A Number of Names. I think it was used by them first. And then Africa
Names is the name of
Bambatu. And then Coldplay used it on an album.
Apparently so, yeah.
I don't know if you ever heard of LCD Sound System. I may turn you on to some LCD Sound System at some point.
Yeah, you did.
And Missy Elliott is used some.
Rebecca Numbers.
They did use this Texas Instruments language translator on some of the computer world parts.
Do you think that's what this
It might
speaking
be.
is right here?
It might be. It might be on the original one. Original first track.
Speaking numbers in German.
Right.
These things are pretty brilliant, man.
This is the second album we've done that uses Texas Instruments for a sound source.
The first was OMD Dazzle Ships.
Yeah.
And we did compare OMD to... They probably had some Kraftwerk influence
Oh yeah.
to their music. Yeah.
Ultravox, Depeche Mode.
Yeah, a lot of those 80s new wave bands, synthesizer bands, probably were were influenced
love
by
this.
Kraftwerk?
I always love this picture. I think it was off the back of their CD and their album. I think this was in the album release as well. Employs all these little instruments.
Yeah, and they look like mannequins playing their little electronic toys.
So Kling Klang, that was their studio. That was their own personal studio.
Yeah, and that's their production company, publishing
Yeah.
company too, right?
Yeah.
'Cause everything is like copyright 1981, Kling Klang. Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah,
think.
these dudes are pretty ingenious, man.
Oh, they were. Yeah, and I always love
Brilliant.
their album release. If you could get a vinyl like this, I bet that's worth a lot.
I bet. Oh my gosh, beautiful yellow
So
vinyl.
so you see that booklet up there.
Yep.
So that basically was their studio.
Wow.
And they apparently on this tour and Man Machine tour, they basically took that with them on the whole thing.
How cool.
Yeah.
Just little knobs and buttons and switches. And
Racks and right.
who knows what the heck is in
Right.
there. Processors and mixers and little percussion, little modular synths, I guess. Little
Yeah.
odd synth modules and stuff in there.
Yeah, they had a whole. I mean, they had ARP 2600. Let me see. I won't bore everybody with it. They had a Mini Moog was the first thing one of the first things they got. An EMS, which is an English Synthi AKS, an English synthesizer.
Yep. That was a classic one. Jean-Michel Jarre had one of those.
Right. And a Mini Moog, ARP Odyssey
Yep.
is
Yep.
one of the things they had as well.
Cool.
So yeah, that was.
Well,
Being the geeks that
mean-
we were on that kind of stuff, that was.
yeah, they were really approachable. At least
No.
I don't remember if this was the first album that I heard of theirs, but if it wasn't this one, it was Man Machine, which was the one before it.
Their
and both
music
of
was
these
approachable.
albums. Right. Their
They
music
weren't
was.
approachable.
Well,
They were not. They were literally famous for being
not doing
unapproachable.
interviews and stuff.
Not do interviews. You couldn't reach them. No one knew where this Kling Klang studio was for a long time until until
Really?
they moved it, and then it came out.
The word got out.
Yeah. Is in
That's
Dusseldorf.
I didn't-
Dusseldorf is where the band was from. They started in
Right,
1970, but
Okay.
yeah, no one knew much about them. They were really just kind of
What is
what's
it?
the term?
Not secluded, seclusive,
reclusive.
reclusive.
Ding ding. We'll never
But
learn
their
German.
music-
We only know English. Yeah,
But their music was always approachable, and a few probably a few years. It probably wasn't until 1987, 88, 89, 90 maybe that I heard any of their older stuff. Like we said, this is their 8th album,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
Well, so I probably in around 90 or so, I heard Autobahn.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I've heard that song, that melody before,
Yeah. Yeah.
So I must have heard it in the 70s sometime, because for pretty much the whole 80s, I didn't make that connection that this was this melody, which is a famous melody, I can't sing it right now, but was Kraftwerk. So
Right.
So they have been influential for a while.
They came to the
yes.
U.S. on the Audubon tour in '75, so that was their first time in the U.S.
Okay.
That was the first time to get out of Germany and France, where they came
really?
to the U.S., Canada, and the U.K. It's the first time for them to go to U.K. as well. Was then.
I bet the UK they were hot, man.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, that it's funny you mentioned. Oh,
Autobahn.
this next tune, "Computer Love,"
Computer Love, right?
was a
Yes.
single, and it did
Yes,
do
that's
pretty well. But the B-side
in
is what
England.
B-side of it was the model, and the DJs really picked up on that. In fact, what the hell? I can play a little bit of.
The model.
Yeah. So this was the B-side of Computer Love. You've heard this.
Yes. Oh yeah. This is from the Man Machine.
I always thought it was from The Late Show.
I'd like to take her home, that song.
Did the Late Show do
Yeah.
this song?
She plays hard to get, she's
I could see Chris singing that song.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
And Donnie playing the little melody there.
Right. So
Yeah.
that was what was big.
Cool.
But this was a tune that was the single
Here we go.
originally.
How romantic. Computer love. Computer love. How warm and fuzzy. This is Kraftwerk being warm and fuzzy. Romantic.
And that's a pretty romantic little melody there.
It is. Played on it. It sounds like it's played on a little Casio. Yeah, a little Casio keyboard.
Right. Bass sits out.
Another lonely night. Stare at the TV screen. I don't know what to do. I need a rendezvous.
I bet the only thing really looped here is the percussion.
Yeah,
And it's
right.
the drummer, the Wolfgang Fleur, he actually did not play on this album. He toured with them live. He did not play on this. I think it was all
During
programmed.
the recording. It does
Because
sound
only
like
three
it could
guys
be.
were given credit for writing. It was Florian, Ralph, and Carl.
And Wolfgang was not credited with writing. Right.
In fact, he wrote an autobiography. Of course, I haven't read it, but I think he said some things about this whole. I think it's titled Kraftwerk. I Am a Robot. So I don't know if he had some
Oh.
issues.
Is that good or bad? Yeah, because Kraftwerk were trying to be robots at the time, but maybe he didn't want to be a robot,
Right.
an automaton.
So this song, at first it's like kind of real subtle. It kind of hits that, I wouldn't call it boring, just relaxed.
Yeah,
But the thing is, the
Yeah.
second half of this song, they jam.
you want to skip ahead?
No,
No? Okay. Okay. Yeah, we would lose the beat if we did that.
we can't skip ahead. That would disrupt
We can
everything.
Yeah, I mean, this one, so far it's I'm still latching on to just really mainly the drum beat.
It's like a jam session from here on out.
Yeah, the bass player's getting a little
I
busier.
bet they got so much fun making this stuff. I bet this was a blast, at least at first.
Then you got the skanking rhythm going on.
Yeah. They hardly played any pads. Melody was the longest sustaining thing they would ever play.
Yeah, the little skanking has a little release on it, but it's not a pad. Yeah,
And the bass gets a little more complicated.
yeah. Bass player's more active on his synth. And the melody player is just kind of
Right.
theme and very there's some more percussion fading in too, maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe the. It's getting a little busier or something.
More syncopated, yeah.
Yeah, the melody player's jamming.
Playing a lead.
It's a Kraftwerk lead. Yeah.
Little giddy up to the bass.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go back to your David Sylvian. Talk about the ambient stuff and your sleeping music. I think this is my ambient.
Cool.
I can put this on and I'm in a great mood. I don't have to listen to it. I can listen to it.
Yeah.
But it puts me in a great
Ambient.
mood. I can concentrate on things.
Well, you know, a lot of, when I first, I don't know, I guess I'm kind of an ambient music purist, and probably the first ambient album I think was Brian Eno, Music for Airports, which, it had some rhythm, but it was mainly, there was no percussion. There was piano, and so, piano has an attack, so there's some rhythm, some melody. So ambient music doesn't have to be without rhythm. But I think by definition, ambient just means part of your surrounding
Right.
environment,
Oh.
right? And
I love those little flourishes. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to really. Yeah, that. I love that stuff.
yep, I heard it. It's like a transition.
Right.
Okay, that means we have 8 bars left, guys, or whatever. 16 bars left or something.
Counter melodies. And this stuff is orchestrated.
Yeah, the boom.
Another.
Here we go. They're just gonna end it right here. Yeah.
This is a jam session.
So they do fade that one out too.
Okay.
Very nice. And that leads into, I guess what is it, home computer? And
Yeah.
yeah, home computer. I love this one. That bass line.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna stand up.
You can't say these guys weren't funky. Cannot say it. Why this is.
You can say it,
why
but
this
you
is-
be lying.
I think that's why this.
That's why Africa
Right.
Bambaataa liked it, yeah. Really.
Those funky Germans.
This is Gary Newman's sound right there.
Oh, that's another influence from this band. But like you said, this is the 8th album.
Computer.
They've been established for a while. They started this whole thing in the, like it's in the 70s.
But this, that sounds like Gary Newman to me.
I love this. Oh yeah, don't do it. Forget that. Don't do it yet. Sorry.
Hey, well, that was a cool little break
Yeah.
though.
I program
You know
my
what I'm
own
getting.
computer. Beam myself into the future.
I programmed my home computer, beam myself into the future.
This. I love this. This is one of my favorite parts of the whole album.
Yeah. Yeah.
I program my own computer.
They must have been Star Trek
Beam myself
fans.
into the
Beam
future.
myself into the future.
myself into the future.
Oh, there's a lot of atmosphere mixed into this, that stuff right there. I love that. Hear that?
About the stuff going on?
Yeah.
Yep. I think this is my favorite track so far.
This is my favorite part of the album.
All the little sounds
Right.
going on.
A little bit of reverb on some of that.
Yeah.
That's another thing. You never notice any obvious effects in that way, but there's delays and reverbs going on all the time. It's just so subtle.
Yeah. Compare this to how the song sounded at the beginning.
Yeah.
Vastly different. But it's just changed so little
Yeah.
over that time. It's been a smooth transition to this just
Right.
spacey jam, you know?
Oh, listen. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, I like that one. I'm going to bump that one up a half star.
It's a half a fun.
Cool.
Half a fun.
Awesome. Okay. That was fun. I'm going to sit down.
Oh.
Awesome. Whew.
Okay.
There's that feedback.
So, I hate to bring the world down, but I guess everyone who knows anything about Kraftwerk. Yeah, right.
Florian.
No, yeah, earlier 2000, we lost the founder, Florian
Yeah,
Snyder.
I know. I was shocked and saddened.
Did you know his name? I guess I knew his name. I don't know. I learned probably a little bit
Florian.
more about him after he passed away. It's usually be the way I do it the wrong way.
He's the only one whose name I would have recognized. For some reason, I don't know why. He wasn't the main guy. I guess he was the second guy, kind of.
No,
But-
the both of them, both him and Ralph Hutter, they
Ralph
started
Hutter?
together.
Yeah.
They started together.
So he was one of the
Ralph,
one of the founders.
Yeah, he played flute. He played flute and some guitar. And Ralph played. What did Ralph play? I forgot what Ralph played back then. Sorry, I'm not prepared.
He didn't play sequencer. He didn't play pocket calculator
No, not
back in
then.
1970.
Oh, the heck with it.
Well,
Hey.
that's okay. I mean, Florian and Ralph were really the founding members. That's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah. No, well, they were the
Yeah.
founding members. And actually, Ralph
Yeah.
took time off to finish his university and then came back he was gone not even a year, then came back and joined them. Oh, I see. In something about their 70s, they were actually influenced by the Stooges and MC5 back there. There's all kinds of things. Two of the other original members went on to form, is it Neu? Neu?
Oh,
Yeah.
huh.
They went on to form that. So there's all kinds of. They were originally part of the Kraft rock movement. Krautrock movement.
Kraut.
Thank you.
Krautrock.
Thank
Yes.
you. I knew I was getting that wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Cool. Well, I mean, yeah, these guys were pioneers in several ways. They were, especially when it comes to, synthesizers and
right.
electronic music. So yeah, that's why I don't know, Florian Schneider. I don't know. For some reason, his name always stuck with me, and I saw his name on the news one day about 6 months ago or 9 months ago, whenever.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah, I remember.
I couldn't decide whether to play this last track as it was, or I did find, and we don't normally do this, but there is a live version of them doing in 2005. And by then, I believe Carl and Wolfgang went on to other things. So they had two other guys playing live with them. But it sounded badass. It's like a DVD, and you can get it in surround sound. You can watch it in 3D.
Well, these guys were always on top of the technology, man.
So yeah.
This is one of the coolest things about them.
So I thought I'd go that route, because I thought it was pretty badass. This is it starts off with More Fun to Compute.
Which is the last track on the album.
Last track on the album.
Same BPM, 121 as home computer.
Right.
But these are, it's one of the things I always liked about these guys, admired about them, is that they were always on top of the latest technology.
Yeah.
Visually, the web, their website's always been on top of the cutting edge, doing DVDs and 3D stuff like you were saying. I imagine that live, just seeing this, what a great show, man. So this is all visuals going on while they're playing. And it's purposefully pixelated.
Yeah.
So these aren't just video artifacts from YouTube or whatever.
No, not at all.
I program my own computer.
There's
Beam
Rob there
myself into the future.
singing. Sorry.
Why is he holding his hand up there to make sure everybody can hear him in the audience?
I think so. Those Germans, they gotta get everything just right.
So it started off with, it's more fun to compute.
Right. No, it's a mix.
Yeah, it's a medley. They're just all dropping in.
And they go into home computer, right?
Yep.
I program my home computer. Beam myself into the future.
Check this out.
Yeah, there we go. Home computer, right?
Oh, man.
So here they're getting into digital sounds, more bell-like sounds, And this was 2004 or something like that, right?
2005, yeah.
2005, yeah. That's so cool, the way the visuals that are on top of them and they're incorporated into and all you see is the little, squares for their head. Yeah, so these dudes were always cutting edge, man.
Yeah.
And like when you said that they pretty much essentially took their entire studio with them live back in the 70s, just imagine how much work that is, all that heavy electronic equipment back then in the 70s, electronics were heavy, right? And then, having to unplug stuff and plug it back in and make sure it's all working. We have a hard time just producing this little show every week. Can't imagine moving all of this onto the road and trying to do it 10 times with 10 times more equipment,
No, I cannot imagine it all, man. But it would have been cool to see that. I think that would have been pretty cool to see. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was trying to see if they actually came to the U.S. or not on that tour. You know.
World tour, Europe, Japan, and U.S. It says.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, commendations, man. These guys, you know, I don't think me and you could have had a series of listening to cool albums without listening to a Kraftwerk album.
No.
And
it rounds out everything. If it's a touchstone or whatever you want to call it, it's something. And the influence of this band, you know, we're gonna be listening to a lot of things that this band influences. You know,
exactly.
which is, you know, every
already
band's
have,
influenced by somebody, but this was a key influence on a lot of
stuff
music.
that we listen to.
Music we listen to. So.
Yep, Depeche Mode, obviously.
Right. Don't know if we'll get
You
to
know.
another one. We don't know. We'll see. The future is a future,
Yeah.
but we thought we should at least
maybe
throw this one in there.
Yeah, maybe Man Machine.
Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, so
What?
what about next week? No?
Thought you'd never ask.
We next week are listening to "Reach the Beach" by The Fix, the second album by The Fix. This is one of my favorite albums of all time.
Yes.
I know it's a bit early in our show to get to such a powerful record, but
I'm gonna say something controversial. Maybe.
Say it.
It'll be interesting. It'll be fun. It'll be fun to talk about. It's very, very influential band on our listening as well at the time. I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
This album changed my life, definitely. So.
All right.
Yep.
So that was that.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us for this Kraftwerk fun. Hope you danced along with us. But
that was fun.
We'll see. We'll see you next week. He's Keith.
Yep, and he is Del, and we are Renjeaux. We listen to cool albums.
We do.
We hope to see you next time, don't we, huh?
We do. Adios ski.
Peace.
Bye.